Okay, hi everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We will talk about how to get a New York State driving license if you own a G4 visa in this pandemic time where there has been difficulties to getting throughout the process. So for the beginning, this is today's agenda. We will have short introduction to the session. We will go step by step through the phases of getting the license, and at the end we will leave some space for question and answers. So this presentation is based on our practical experience of going throughout the key steps of obtaining a New York State driving license. So we hope that you will find it useful. It was created on behalf of the members of NYLESA. Okay, so first step, apply for learner's permit. You go on this link. You choose the option, make a new reservation. For us, it's the best to go for the location of Midtown Manhattan, which is near Penn Station. And for the service, we need to take a car or motorcycle permit test. After we've done with that, also we need to find available date and time because it's quite busy at this time, so it's not really possible that you can just go online and find whenever you want to, but we are suggesting to check each month at the beginning of the month because that's when they refresh the calendar, and it's likely that you will find an empty spot. The second thing, to study for the material, which you can find online. So this is where you can find the tests. If you are experienced driver, I assume that it will be already easy for you to go through the quiz and answer the questions, but if not, also you can go through the chapters and read the content and learn from it. On the test, you will get 20 questions from which you have to have 14 answered correct, and 2 of 4 of them which take the road sign recognition also have to be recognized as correct. Okay, so after you study and prepare for the material, you go to the DMV office. When you apply for a DMV permit test, you need to provide proof of age, identification, and residence. There is a guide with documents you need that you can complete online, and you can see what do you need to bring with yourself as a proof of identification you need. And also, if you don't own a social security number, there is also one affidavit form that should be printed out and that you can bring with yourself. And if they ask for it, you can just fill it and sign it at the place, and that's all you will need. In my experience, I brought my passport, I brought my social security number and my work permit. And for proof of residence, I had a few bills like electricity, internet, etc., and that was enough. My partner, who didn't have social security number, he brought this affidavit form, which they accepted, and also he brought his hang tag from his UN agency office. So let's repeat. You need to fill in the MV44 form. The cost of the learner's permit is $75, and you don't have to pay again if you fail the first time. Sorry. You must get 14 out of 20 questions, and we recommend that you take your passports as an ID when you get there. After you pass your written test, you will have a quick eye check there in the DMV office, and a photo of you will be taken. You will receive a temporary permit, and the original with the photo on it, you will receive about 2 weeks after the test. Your permit will be valid for approximately 5 years. And if you fail the written test for the first time, you can take the second one for free. Okay, so that's about it for the DMV office. The next step would be taking a pre-licensing course. You must take a pre-licensing course before you take the road test. You must have a valid New York photo learner's permit before you can start the course. After you successfully pass the course, you can schedule your road test, and the last step to getting your New York driver's license. The best way to do the pre-licensing course is at the driving school, where you can also organize a car for you to do further lessons and to take it to the road test along with you if you need it. You will receive a certificate of completion from the course provider that you will have to have with yourself on the road test. I had this course, which was over in 3.5 hours. And my recommendation to you is, even though it's online, to stay the entire time on the camera so they can see that you're present. Okay, let's go with the next step, which is taking the road test. You must come to the road test with a roadworthy car that you will use for the test, driven by another person with a valid New York State license, or take a car from a driving school with instructor that will drive you to the test location. You must provide your learner's permit and pre-licensing course certificate to the examiner. Take your road test before your permit expires, because you cannot renew your permit. If you passed your test, the examiner will give you an interim license that allows you to drive. Keep that license with your photo permit until your new license arrives in the email, which is in about 2 weeks. If you don't pass, you can repeat the test after 3 days of break. Most of the people who went through, who had finished this step, they recommend that even if you're an experienced driver, you should take at least 60 minutes driving lesson with an instructor, because there is a huge backlog of people waiting for driving tests. Some of the schools offer a rush package, which could also get you the test sooner. Also, you can take these tests, road tests, in the borough of Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx. All you need is to do a bit of research. Also, on YouTube, you can find them as well. Watch videos to get a feel of them. That's about it when it comes to this process of getting a license. I would like to share a couple of more tips with you before we start with questions. As the United States is a bit different, I would recommend to take 30 or 45 minutes with an instructor for drive. They give the best tips of what the examiner will be picky about. That's one of the tips which everybody agrees with. So please do take at least one lesson with an instructor. Some tips can help you pass the test. When they say go, put your winkers and also look over your shoulder that you can go. All the stop signs, stop, complete for 1 second. And before you continue, check both sides. The U-turn never touch the sidewalk, neither when you make the parallel parking. There's also one more tip that is about the out-of-state license, which most of us have. And it's the best for you not to mention that you have it. Because if you take your out-of-state license with you on the road test, it's likely that they will ask you to give it to them so they can keep it. So if you don't do that, if you don't mention, they will not ask you anything about it, and that will be it. Yes, do you have any questions? Can we start with questions?
Anna, do you want to go through the chat box? Can you go through the chat box?
Yes.
There's lots of questions in the chat box.
I'm just there. Okay, hi, this is Greta. Hi, Greta. Why is that UN employees G4 have to go to DMV in Manhattan only? Can we not go to DMV in other boroughs? We have an example. Our friend Vipin had been doing this process in Westchester County. So it's true, maybe you don't have to, but it's likely that if you go in the Midtown, you will not, I mean, it's 100% sure that you will get everything you need there because they are familiar with our cases. For example, if you don't have the social security number, you can still go through. You can show your G4 visa, you can show your name tag from your UN agency or copy of your spouse's, and that will be enough for them. That's the only thing why all of the people advise that we should start from the DMV office in the Midtown Manhattan. Vipin, would you like to share your
yes,
experience?
Yes. So in somewhere in October, I think I was trying to get the appointment from the DMV. Like I tried for many days, and then I couldn't get through the appointments like as per the instructions you have given. So what I did was I just chose the I live in Westchester County. I'm in Scarsdale. So I just go to the DMV White Plains website and choose that one, and then go for exchange instead of choosing go for a permit test or something. I chose the option exchange my out-of-state license, just to get an appointment, because all other options, it was not giving any appointment dates. I tried many days, so it was unsuccessful. So it was just another try. I just did, and I chose that one, and then I got the date. Okay. So I went in with the filled application, prepared for the learner's permit test also. Everything I was prepared, and then I went in. At the gate, they asked me, for what you are here. So I just show my appointment, and then that's okay. I told the person at the gate that I come here to apply for a learner permit. So she just let me in, guided me to another counter. So they took my photo and then sent me to another counter, and then I just submitted my documents there along with my Indian driving license. I'm holding an Indian driving license at that time. And I didn't have a social security number, anything. So I just went in and then gave it. They checked everything. They said, sir, this license is not for US. So we cannot exchange it. Would you? So I said, so what should I do? I just acted like, you know, I don't know anything. Yeah, they asked me, what do you want to do? So I asked them, is there a... Sorry, somebody was asking anything?
It's fine.
Okay. So they said, okay, are you ready to take eye test and driving a permit test? I said, okay, I can do that, and no problem. So then they took me to the test, the permit test, and I did the test like sitting there for 10 minutes, like the 20 questions I did. I submitted, they took my eye test, and then I gave the fees, and then they gave me the permit. That's how it worked for me. So what is my advice is just try to get up to that counter somehow. That was my strategy here. So like otherwise there is no other way to reach that counter, you know, in this COVID time. So that's why I took this way. So it was successfully. So maybe if you want to give a try, at the same time you are trying the other way, trying for an appointment, just try this also, because it will not harm you anything. You will just lose maybe an appointment or something. You can come back and cancel the appointment anytime. So just give a try. If it works, it works, you know. It worked for me. Why not?
Thank you, Vipin.
So I have a question. So
yes.
thank you for that. So I managed to find the next available slot, and it wasn't in Manhattan, it was in Harlem. And just kind of a word of warning, it's going to take you months. So the only available one for me was in April. I mean, I tried absolutely every other office. I live in Manhattan, but it's going to take months before you can actually book this test.
But did you choose this option, like to exchange the out-of-state license option?
I think you were lucky, to be honest with you, because you came in for a wrong pretense. You know, I think that was a fluke. But thank you for sharing your experience. I mean, I wouldn't choose a reason for visit and then turn up for something else, because you'll just be rejected. I would just choose on their website.
I was going through. I just went with all the required documents and everything.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
It was like there was nothing out of way. They did everything through proper channel only.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You know, I looked online, and the next available slot for me was in April, so I took it.
Yeah, okay.
Also on that note, at the beginning I was calling those numbers. I was waiting for hours, and then one lady on the phone told me to check more often because sometimes they have a gap shows into days, and they empty some dates and times, and you can, you know, if you're there, if you're on the website, you can just spot that and immediately book a date. So that happened to me. I was checking the website every day, and at one point I spot an entire empty week. So that's how I made my booking.
And I was told also to keep checking those websites as well.
Yes, that's true. That's it.
In fact,
thank
can
you.
I just say, Anna,
Hi.
I have the same experience as Maren. I've been waiting months for an appointment with the Manhattan people. But in fact, they wrote to me also saying that I have to actually update my details again. They wrote to me in January, the New Year. So yeah, I think you need to actually keep checking in and almost keep reapplying almost every month.
Yes, it's keep checking because if it could happen to me, everybody can find an empty spot. So that's what I would recommend, because people cancel, maybe they leave, or for other reasons, maybe after a month they cannot show up for the specific date. So it's the best to keep checking. Thank you, Karen.
Actually,
yes?
I wanted to say that I just got an appointment today in the morning.
Really?
For today. But it was still a short notice. But you keep checking. I guess someone has just canceled the appointment. So I was like, yeah, so keep checking.
Well, there's a new tip. In the meantime, just check the test, and you know, the study material. So if that happens, you can be always prepared and just show up when there's a time for that.
So Natalia, would you be able to share the website through which you booked it?
It's absolutely the same that Anna showed in her presentation. Actually, she did share the link with me. It's the same. The problem is you need to renew the page every time you try to get an appointment, not just click on the dates, but renew the whole page. And then it depends on them. I guess someone just canceled the appointment right before I clicked. And that's how it goes. And the thing that you got in April, I think I was clicking on it, but it disappeared when I was choosing the time slot. So
okay.
it's just too many people, you keep trying, I guess.
Can we have this presentation shared with us? Do we have
Yes, 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 of course. Yes, you will. I will send you a link. It will be on our website. So you will have everything from today's session.
And if I share some information.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, my husband was a spouse, and he was trying to renew his driver's license.
It's taking place now. Look.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Can you please mute your devices while others are speaking? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. I was just trying to share some experience just recently. I think my husband was renewing his driver's license because he is the dependent. Dependent for he has no social security ID, and at the beginning actually was like choosing the service true is the license as the real ID, and then it gives the time as the, I think it's in the middle of February, and then the other days that thing he think he maybe wants to make it either earlier, so he chose another one is the service 3, which means is a pay cash to renew your photo ID, not upgrade and no photo, and then he in, I think it's just a couple of days before. And he actually was also trying to get the letter from NYS to that letter. And he went to there. And actually he told me that when he went there and nobody looked at that letter, and even they don't look at the badge with the expiration date. He got to successfully renew his driver license. Even I think the day is much longer than the badge, the expiration days. So I think currently I also take a look if you can choose the service 3, the pay cash, renew your photo ID. Actually, the earliest day is the early of February. So I think people can maybe try to use that. But I only concern is because for me, I'm a learner permit, and it's still for me, I cannot choose to take the car for motorcycle permit test. Probably I will do the same like my husband chose the other service line and go straight to there. So this is just some experience we recently experienced.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Did you take the road test yet?
Actually, yeah, my learner I take it a long time before, so I just want to, because it's gonna expire. So I want to, maybe I need to retake it, or maybe I can renew. I don't know. So I just want to get that one. Yeah.
Okay, you should know that even though you have an out-of-state driving license, which you can use it when you drive or lease a car around, but you cannot take the you cannot drive by yourself to the road test location. You have to have somebody else taking you there. That can be a friend with a valid New York State license. There can be an instructor from driving school that can take you there, which of course you will pay for that service, but you cannot drive yourself there. That's illegal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Will we talk about exchange driving license? From what I know, and I'm not sure if that's 100% true, is that you can exchange driver's license if it's Canadian or if it's from another state. We tried, my partner and I, to see the option of exchanging our driver's license, and that was impossible. So I think that also Vipin just shared his experience with his Indian driver's license, and that was not possible. So I think that you should either, if you can go there and ask, or over the phone, but that's my advice. You have to check with the agreement between the New York State and the state or the country where your driver's license were issued. How to get on? Yes.
Sorry, I was just going to add to that. If you happen to reside in New Jersey instead of New York State, you can actually just swap your out-of-state or foreign license to a New Jersey state license, but you can't do this in New York State. So it depends where you live. So if anyone happens to reside over in New Jersey, they can do that. It's a much easier process.
So then if you want to purchase a vehicle or get a car, you need to do that in New Jersey, right?
New Jersey. So it's only if you happen to reside in New Jersey, not in New York State.
Yeah, well, that's an option. Thank you.
Thank you. Then possible for the...
I was mentioning with the learner's permit, you can buy the car, but you can check it with the dealers. Some dealers allow. Yeah.
Without registration?
No, with your learner's permit, they let you.
With your learner's, okay. Thank you. How to get an appointment for a learner's permit? I think that we answered that question. My application was rejected by the Lower Manhattan DMV. We can actually only go to Midtown DMV. Okay, thank you, Gabriel. Is DMV in function right now? When do you do eye examination, before or after the written test? You do the examination after the written test. In the same office, you go from one section to another. They guide you and they do a quick eye examination. You pay there, they take your photo there, so everything is done at your first DMV appointment. I think they are functioning right now. I did my test in late December, so I assume they are. Hi, I just wanted to know if it's possible to keep my existing physical EU license. Thank you. I think it is, as Pamela suggested, if you do not mention that you own one, it's likely that you can keep it with yourself and then use it if you're moving out of the state soon. Is that right, Pamela?
Yes, my advice would be, and this actually comes from the instructor that took my pre-licensing course, was not to take my foreign license to the road test. The examiner is entitled to ask you to give it to him and or her, and with the idea that they keep it until you leave the state and ask for it back. And there is no way that I'm letting that happen. So it's kind of a strange grey area. So they won't ask for it, but certainly don't offer it, and don't say that you have it with you, because they are entitled to take it from you. It's a strange thing. But one thing that the instructor also told us to do was to actually make sure that the examiner at the road test can hear that you have an accent that's not American. If you have an accent that's not American, and then they will probably assume that you're a licensed driver in another country, that you perhaps have a level of competency, you know what you're doing, and they will probably just do a very basic test to make sure that you know that everything's okay. So that was the advice that came out of the pre-licensing course for foreign drivers.
That's a very useful advice. But what happens? So do they ask you if you have?
They won't ask, and
they
won't ask, and you shouldn't offer. If you offer it, they may just take it from you. They are entitled to ask for it. So it's a weird thing. Technically, they should ask and they should take it from you, but they probably won't ask. Mm-hmm. And the advice was, don't have it with you so that they can't take it.
Okay, thank you. Do you need? Trying to choose 12, take a car or permit test, but it doesn't give the date to choose. Yes, it doesn't. But as we mentioned before, check more often, and it's likely that at the beginning of each month they refresh their calendar and you may find some place available. Do we need a valid G4 visa when you're renewing the driver's license? Does anybody of you on the call have experience with this? Do we need a valid G4 visa when renewing the driver's license?
When I did it many, many years ago, you did.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave you, I saw somebody wrote something else regarding the time they gave it. But it was, you get your license for as long as your visa is valid. So if your visa is valid for 1 year, that's how long your license will be valid for. Although I heard the other lady speaking earlier saying that her husband got for longer than that, which is usually not the case. So unless they've changed it, but normally you have to have your proof of residency, of course, and that's why you have to have your G4. Otherwise, you know, unless you have a green card or whatever, but if you have, you have to have your G4 license and it has to be valid.
And do you need to?
For 5 years. I got it for 5 years. I just received my driving license yesterday. So
and is your G4 visa valid for 5 years?
No, it's not.
Okay, so now they're giving you longer. Okay, that's good.
They didn't even check for my G4 visa or something. They were asking for the social security number and the residence proof. You know, I was giving my this one, the rent agreement.
Yeah.
Yes.
The proof and the insurance. Like.
And what about the? Do you need to take tests again when you renew your license?
I think it's not required. You can even do it online. That's what I heard. I'm not sure about that. I didn't.
Yeah, dear colleague, I'm sorry. You know, I'm about to renew my driver's license, and I'm sorry I couldn't log in into the Zoom, so I don't want to. Maybe you already answered this question. So I'm in New York. I'm about. I have to renew my driver's license. Got the vision test, and so is there any? And I'm glad to hear because my G4 visa expired, so I was a little hesitant that they would ask for that, and so I'm glad to hear that you don't even have to enter that. They don't ask you at all if you do it online, if anyone has experience.
Well, you need to have a proof of ID, I presume. So one of those proofs is your G4 visa and your valid G4 visa and a passport. Unless, I think we covered that topic early on in the meeting.
Yes, I apologize. It says that there was a limit of 100 and couldn't log in really. So I attempted that. So I understand and I'm sorry. So if my G4 visa expired.
So there is a list of, they have a list of documentation on their website which tells you is valid to kind of ascertain your proof, your ID. So it's somewhere on their website which tells you what sort of documentation you need to bring in to your first meeting with them. No.
This is just for the renewal online.
Okay. Is this in New York State? We talked about that, or is it a different state?
New York State, yeah.
So do you have out of state driving license? So it's not, do you have a driving license which is US, one of the other states?
Yeah, it's a New York driver's license. It's expiring in February. So they are pushing me to renew it, of course, which is good.
Okay. We didn't cover that.
And so the good thing is that they, so nobody had, I'll try and see what happens. Whatever I got very quickly, I tested, there are so many centers. So so I'll do it online and see what happens. But I was just wondering if someone tried recently and they asked for the G4 or something.
I think you are years ahead of us. I think we are all here aliens.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Maybe
when I hear renewal, for me that's aliens too.
Yeah.
Maybe I can respond to Maria. This is Robert Coden. I renewed mine, Maria, online, and I was not asked for my G4.
Oh, perfect.
And surprisingly, I got one for the next 8 years. So I would suggest go online. Just if you got a letter asking them. What did I do? I used that. I don't know if you got in the mail.
I got in the mail too, yeah.
Yes. I use that because that kind of proves that they are the ones asking you to renew and you're responding. So I use the basis. I sent an eye test with it and a recent eye test, and that allowed me, and they renewed mine for 8 years. Hope you got that. Thank you.
Qualcuno, quindi guarda.
Ok, stanno
Saranno
arrivati.
Ma che sta gente qua? Questo mi fa
Okay. Next question. Where do you get the affidavit form from? It's here. Just a second, just a moment. This is the form where you start filling out the guidance of document, and to see what do you need to get with you on the DMV appointment. If you click this option, I have never been issued a social security number. You must bring in a signed affidavit or statement. When you click on it, you'll get the form which you print out and you carry it with yourself on your appointment. Let me see what's next question. How do you renew learner's permit before it expires? You don't renew learner's permit. It expires after 5 years. So if you don't get your license in the meantime, you just have to do it from the start. G4 visas are not being renewed except for special cases. Can you get your license renewed on an expired G4? We answered that question. Okay. Has anyone recently made an appointment at the DMV office with correct times? Yes, we already answered that questions. We have. Can you change your learner's permit to New York ID? Does anybody have answer on this? I think not, but I'm not completely sure. If anyone has experience, please share with us. I guess not. Do I have to go to a driving school as a requirement to the driving test? If you're an experienced driver, we recommend that you take at least one test so they can show you what you will have on your road test, and you can refresh your memories and your driving skills. So it's better to have at least one. And possibly, if you don't own a vehicle, you can use their service for 1 hour driving lesson, and for the same instructor to take you to the road test location. How to renew the driver license? We already answered that question. Change out of state license, we answered.
I don't know what else you have to put together. That should be enough.
Can you please share the link to make appointment in the chat? That will be added to the presentation, which you can all find. I will share a link at the end of this session. Hi everybody, if we make an appointment. Hi. If we make an appointment, would it be possible to change it to an earlier day if something opens up? Yes, you can. If we can just share a link here in the chat box. Okay. Is written test in English and selective languages only? Anyone knows what happens if test taker is fluent in a language not offered? Any translation assistance allowed? I don't think so. There is an
on what's happened in
option.
the past. So it doesn't give us anything new.
Sorry?
Yes, we could have had more, but we didn't. So.
Languages that it's offered in, I think it's online.
Yeah.
Can you share details on good driving schools? Anyone?
Anna, I used Drive Right Academy in Brooklyn, and they were great. They have 2 branches, depends on how close you are to Brooklyn, obviously. But Drive Right Academy, they were very good. Did the whole thing with them from the pre-licensing course through to the test.
Okay, so that's one in Brooklyn. Do we have a grace period? Using an international license is for how long? Using it's in a way as you've been.
But I don't, from what I understand, it's not huge.
Can you please mute your device?
We also have the case of the US is, as the administration comes in and
Peter Stone.
slowly getting staffed
Peter
up.
I think you, Anna, as a host, can mute person.
Yes, I just cannot find who that is.
It's somebody called Peter Stone.
Okay.
I've sent him a message, but he hasn't read it.
Okay, thank you. So Soraya, may I ask?
When are they in the next month? Don't think.
Okay, that's resolved. I think it's 3 till 6 months as the status of a tourist. So I think that 6 months is the longest of time you can use your international in case somebody requires for you to show it. Otherwise, we were able to rent a car. The last time was a year after we arrived here, so it was possible. I don't know if there was a case, of being stopped by the police and showing it as an evidence of owning driver's license, if that would be enough, but we were able to somehow rent a car with it.
Anna, can I jump in there? Sorry.
You're on mute, Kevin.
Could I just ask if NYLESA could actually get clarity on that? Because I mean, I've rented a car just last year on my foreign license.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I don't know whether I'm driving illegally or not, actually, at that stage.
Yes.
And I think it's a really important one.
Yes, it
Not
is.
necessarily relevant to this, but it'd be really good to have a definite answer from you.
I will write that down, Kevin. Thank
Thanks,
you for,
Anna.
Yes. And
I
I will
may
try to
respond to that. Can I respond to that?
Yes, please.
Technically, the law says that if you're residing in New York State, you must get a US or a New York driver's license after 30 days of residence. That is technically the law, but there seems to be a lot of grey area. The grey area seems to be that, say, for example, they will rent you a car gladly on your foreign license, but if you happen to have a problem like an accident, then it could get tricky. They could say that, well, you're not legally licensed to drive in New York State, so therefore we're not going to allow the insurance to cover your accident. So that it's not clearly defined, but that would be the risk.
Thank you, Pam. I agree with your interpretation. I just think it'd be really important to get that message out to everybody, because I suspect that there are a lot of people renting cars on licenses, and as you say, if they have an accident or something, it could get very tricky.
Yes,
Thanks,
that's
Anna.
true.
Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I just say, I've used Zipcar previously, and they, hi Pam, I don't know if I've met you, a fellow Australian. I take it. We've used my husband and I, we've used Zipcar, and they accepted my Australian driver's license for the purposes of driving their zip cars. And I also subsequently heard, I can't remember who from, like after the event, that if there was if you were in an accident, that, as Pam mentioned, it could be problematic in terms of being covered by the insurance. Even though they allow you to do it, they would, it might be risky for you to not have a New York driver's license. So I'm just confirming what Pam said. Thank you.
Thanks. Do you need to wait for a certain amount of time from getting a learner's permit to applying for a road test, or can you do it straight away after getting the permit? After you get the permit, you need to attend a 5-hour course, which you can find online in any school you want, in any borough or within the New York State. You need to have you need to have your learner's permit with photo, because you will need to upload that as a proof before taking the course. After you take the course, you will receive their certificate, and with that certificate and ID you get from the school, you can apply for road test, which is also online, but fairly more easily than making the first appointment. So you can, I think for a month and a half, you can finish the entire process. One question for Wipin. I want to ask which one you went to White Plains. Do you have to live in that area or not? Do you know the answer of this question, Wipin? If he's still on the call. Okay, earlier in Midtown Manhattan, they only renewed accordingly to your UN badge, which is based on your UN contract. Yes, I will share the recording afterwards. Okay, so UN badge definitely, don't forget to take, if you have one, and take a photocopy of your spouses if you are a dependent. Yes, the presentation will be shared. There are a lot of questions left here. I'm afraid I might, I don't know, maybe I will forget or miss some. Could you please just unmute yourself and ask something we haven't discussed before? Hi.
Hi, this is Tina.
Hi, Tina.
I was wondering why you are suggesting we go to the Midtown Manhattan office to get the learner's permit rather than any other one, perhaps closer to where we live. Is it that they have a special agreement with the UN or somehow know about the kinds of...
It's possible. I'm not sure if they have some agreement, but they are familiar with our cases. So you can you can show them your visa or your badge, and that will be enough for them. Because previously, when I was trying to get some answers over the phone with other DMV stations, they were not familiar with the G4 status. They didn't know how to reply. They said that having a social security number was mandatory, so I couldn't respond to that, and that's why I went to the Midtown.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello. Yeah, Anna, I have a question. That's hilarious.
Yes.
while when you are going to this written test for learning permits, do you need to bring also the confirmation of the time booked?
No, it's enough for you to have the application form along with the other documents as a passport, social security, work permit.
You mean this MV44?
Yes, the MV44. Even though they have the form there, I was offered to fill it on at the place, but I already had one with myself, so I think it's better for you to have it prepared.
How do they get a proof that you are kind of coming for the appointment booked? Is it just by your name or?
Yes, when you check downstairs on the entrance at DMV, they have you on the list as a booked appointment. So they will get you inside, and that's all you need with your appointment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Claire.
Hi.
My question is more about the Will ID, and I don't know if you can answer it now or later. I just want to understand if G4 visa holders are eligible for the Will ID, which is going to be required for traveling within the US as of October 2021.
Can you tell me something more about it? Yes.
In my question, I have attached the website from the TSA about it.
Okay.
It's just a document that's going to be required for traveling within the US. So I just don't know if there is any information about that you could provide today or later, and whether whether G4 visa holder can apply for that type of visa. I mean, of license.
Did you try to apply online?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I can answer that. I think.
Yes, please.
I'm not 100% sure. I think the only thing that disqualifies you from getting a real ID is if you don't have a social security number. So if you're applying without a social security number, then you only are eligible for what they call a standard ID. If you do have a social security number, then I believe you are eligible for a real ID.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Other questions, please?
I'm not sure on that because it's also to do with TSA, and there's a list of countries. If you're not an American, there's a list of countries that you can get a TSA, and there's ones you can't. And then you have to go to the police. You have to get a police. It's a bit more, I think if you're an American, maybe that's different because then you use that license for flying at airports. You don't need a passport. So unless I think you're American or green card holder or something, maybe you can. But when it says traveling around the States, it doesn't mean driving around. It means like when you're flying and used it as an official ID instead of a passport. So I think that's the big difference.
Hi, Anna. I have a question.
Hi.
My name is Patria. So I already have my learner's permit, and I used to live in New York City. Now I moved to Long Island. Would you know if I would need to, if it's okay for me to change my address in any DMV here in Long Island, or do I still have to go to Midtown?
I think you can change your address online.
I see.
I was on the move actually. I moved out the next day after I took my test, and I couldn't change my address because that would require different documentation for proof of residence. So I went with my old address, then applied for my 5-hour course with the new address and received the certificate there. So I think that now I can just go online because I asked that question at DMV. They said that there's no need to coming over. You can do changes like address online.
Oh, that's great, Anna. And then a follow-up question. I'm not sure if you already answered this in the first part of the session, but Here can I get the certification, the driving session here in Long Island, or do I need to go to be certified in the city, like for example Queens or?
It's online, so that's the easy part, because you can pick school from wherever you want, but that means that that it will require longer period of time for you to receive the certificate afterwards. For example, I was suggested to attend the course in a school in Syracuse, I think, which is in New York State, but I didn't go for it. I found a local one. Just for the sake of getting the certificate as fast as I can. So if you are now in Long Island, you know, it's best for you to find a school there online, and you can even go and take your certificate after 24 hours, I think.
And then another follow-up question.
Yeah, no problem.
And then Anna, so for example, I already have my certificate. That's another step. The next step is for me to get the driving, the actual driving
test.
The test. So
yes.
That means I can schedule it myself with DMV, or how did you do it yourself?
Yes. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't do it for myself. I did it for my partner because I need to take more lessons first. I called the same school and I asked them, how can I do it? So they just provide that service for me. They went online. They took my ID number and from the certificate, and they did the appointment from the school. So you can call your school or Google road test DMV, and a link will appear. Or I can try and do that afterwards. You can email me. You know, we can stay in touch, and if you have any questions that I can help with, please share.
Thank you very much, Anna. That was very informative. Thank you.
Thank you for attending. Do we have any more questions?
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Can I just ask if, sorry, I don't know, you may have mentioned this earlier, but the all the information in the chat, is it possible to please copy that? I'm sorry, I'm not technologically, I try, but I'm just on my phone. I know how to do it on my computer, but I don't have my computer with me, so, or right next to me open. So is it possible to just copy everything from the chat and put it in a Word document or an attachment? So, because I think it'll be probably quite useful to have those so we can refer to them as well. Thank you.
Well, we have, thank you for the question. We have this recording, so if you want, we can share the recording with you, and you will find everything you need there. So no need of copy-paste materials.
Great. So does that include the chat? Because sometimes when you close the meeting, you lose everything in the chat, just from Michael's experience from other meetings he's been in. I haven't actually had much experience.
I have recorded the chat, don't worry.
Oh, perfect. Great. Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. We're covered. Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you. Great. Wonderful.
Written test conducted online or on site. The written test is, the tests are on the DMV website. You can study from their tests. They're actually, just a moment. Here you can see the chapters. Not all of them have a quiz, but wherever you see quiz, you can take it. That's a sort of a test. And also there are plenty of DMV applications you can download from your mobile device, and you can also check your knowledge there.
Anna, may I have another question? I mean, just to be, I have an appointment for the learning permit done kind of a couple of months ago. And then kind of following that kind of confirmation or whatever, I received an SMS from DMV requesting to update my information, and I never did it. So does that mean that I will be removed by DMV list and I have to register again, or I will, because I'm just trying to understand how to check whether I'm in their list still for the appointment or not. Do you have any idea?
I didn't understand. You had an appointment for a road test?
No, for the written test, and then
for the written, okay,
for the written test in the Midtown, and then I received an SMS, update your contact information, and I have not done it for a couple of days, and then when I went to the link, it was outdated already. So I'm just wondering, does that mean that I'm not, so my written test is not registered any longer, or do you have any idea about that?
I think it should be, but you will also receive a confirmation email a day before your date for the test. So
so I should receive an email from DMV.
Yes, so in the same manner, if something was canceled, I think that you would have received an email or SMS again.
Okay,
so
thank
I
you very
guess
much.
your appointment is still on. Thank you.
Another thing you can try is actually you can change your appointment. You can change the date or you can cancel it on the same page. So, and if it finds you with your email address, then that means you are on.
But I don't want to cancel it.
Yeah, but you don't need to cancel. You just look up for it. And then it gives you options to cancel or change. But if it finds you, you're there.
Thank you very much.
Okay, is that all? I might stop sharing the screen now. Let me send you the link where you can find all of these informations. This is the link of the presentation we had on screen today. At the bottom, you will find our website, NYLESA.org. The presentation is there. Also, the entire content, the tips from our members, and you have also contact from NYLESA team, communication at nylesa.org. If you have any further questions, or if you missed something from today's session, you can email me, and I will send you the materials there. So if that's all from your part, with
thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for attending. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Anna.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, is
Thanks, Anna.
Pam
Take
still
care.
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Pam. Rita, sorry, I don't do this in front of everyone, but if you'd like to swap details, I'd be
Sure.
happy to.
Sure, I'd love to.
Are you with NYLESA?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, what's the most diplomatic way of doing this? How would you like to do it? They've got my details, and someone can send them to you, or
yes, I can send Pam your details.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could. Thanks very much, Anna.
Yes, I will
Appreciate
exchange your contacts. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks, Anna. Thank you.
Great.
That'd be great.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Kiki, I saw a question from you that I didn't respond to. Hi. You're on mute. I cannot hear you.
Oh, okay. Now, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Can you please repeat because I missed it in the chat?
Yeah. I did the test, and then I took the photo and I submit all of the documents. But I never hear back from them. They said that, oh, I will call you, something like that, because they need to check the documents maybe. But they never call me. So maybe, do you know what is the issue?
You went there, you took the test, that you didn't got the result?
No, I got the result immediately, and I passed the test already. Yeah.
So you didn't receive your permit yet?
Yes, they said they will call me, but I went there with another spouses, but my friend, she got called after around 2 weeks, and she already got the driving license, but me, they never call me. I don't know what happened.
Oh, that's strange. You should have received it after 2 weeks.
I know, and we went there, me and my husband, I went there, and we asked, and then they say, just wait, we will call you. They say like that.
That's weird. And what happens if you go online to try to schedule another one?
Oh, I don't know. So what should I do? I should do.
You have the receipt, right?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe already gone. It's a long time ago.
When was that?
Already like almost a year before the pandemic, I think.
Okay. So they probably something has changed. Maybe they closed the office in the meantime, and that's why they didn't get back to you. But yes, maybe they have something in their data.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can just show up there and go inside, but if you can find some contact to email or just to tell them the problem. If you call the number and you have to wait for a long time, you can there's an option that you can leave your number and they can call you back whenever they have the available operator. So do that and just try to ask for help.
Yeah, so when I went there, I fill up all the document and I leave my phone number as well. And I come back again and asking, oh, you never call me. And then they just saying, I will call you when it's ready. They only say that, and I will have your phone number.
It's obvious that there's some problem there. Yeah, they either closed the office in the meantime or something has happened. So yeah, try. I know that they don't have emails on their website. If you can try to call somebody and ask for help, so you don't have to do it all over again.
So do you think so what can I do? Can I ask by online or I can check by online?
If you check online, you will make yourself another appointment, and then you will need to get another test and pay again and all of that. So it's better for to just ask somebody to help if they can find your name, but make sure that you find at least the date and time you were there or something, the receipt, whatever you have as a proof.
Okay. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you so much for attending today. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Anna?
Still here?
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye, Rita.
You can stop the recording.
Yes. Let me just find where.
Why do you want to